There's this scene in Breaking Bad's movie El Camino where Jesse is helping Todd bury a dead body. When they are finished, Todd asks Jesse to grab him a pack of cigarettes, and he finds a gun. As Jesse draws the gun on Todd, both stand at opposite ends. Jesse, after a year being put in a cage, finally has a chance to take back his freedom. But as he stands there, he is confused, sad, lost, frustrated, and angry at himself. He has given up on living for himself and for anybody. Jesse cries because he cannot leave. The world that he had brought himself into was one of tremendous terror and loss. There was once a man born long ago by the name of Winston Churchill, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, that led his country against the vicious Nazis of World War II. And as things seemed ever so dark, he told his people, "If you are going through hell, keep going." The Horizon is a Korean webtoon that ended in February of 2021. And I just have to say right now, it's beautiful. It's a very short story and has little dialogue, but this is by no means a handicap. It's actually a strength. We are thrown into a world in complete war and devastation. There is no room for sympathy or compassion. Hope is all but a figment of your imagination, as hell encompasses you. As a young boy stands looking at the great abyss, darkness accompanies him. The waves flow beyond his feet, only to recede once more, trying to pull him back, his eyes embedded with the darkness. As we read, pages are filled with people escaping their inevitable death. It's war. We see a mother put her son in an alleyway and cover him with a metal sheet. As the boy uncovers the metal sheet, everyone is dead. Hundreds, probably thousands of corpses surround the boy, and then he finds his mother. And then what happens next is reality. The boy wanders through this hell he must live in and finds a girl. The two of them then set off to only march forward and keep marching for as long as they can. The Horizon is many things, but being for the lighthearted is definitely not one of them. You see war a lot in movies, fighting games, and yeah, even in manga and anime. I'm guessing you don't really give a thought about it. And why would you? Maybe you feel for some of the wars going on today, but you have your own life to live. There's no time for that. And then there's this awakening. The moment when you realize the true hell of war, an unbearable reminder that human nature can often be cruel. And this is reading The Horizon. From that introduction to the story alone, we are grabbed by the hearts and lungs to be swept away in this endless journey of depression. In the beginning of the story, the boy and the girl meet this strange man. He looks to be deeply disturbed by the war and has mentally regressed by it. He doesn't speak or make coherent thoughts, and instead makes sounds that make no sense. The strange man was a victim of war. He is drawn with a rough design that makes him look almost primal, and a stare that seeps into your soul. The boy, being more unsympathetic and clear of thought, said that this man would be dangerous to them, and so they should wait until the strange man was asleep, so he could no longer follow them. In this setting, the boy represents reason, our ability to look at what's in front of us and to make the right decision. However, the girl represents our emotion, giving into pity and not letting the man leave their side to be alone. She gives him water and tries to teach him basic manners, no matter how dangerous he could be. The strange man is depicted as disgusting and a beast, and what he was before was no longer. He was mentally ill, and the acts he tried to commit with the girl were horrific. The man represents our humanity, sin, regret, realization, pain, loneliness, and endless despair. As the boy and the girl keep walking, we meet a man in a suit, living in an empty city that has been lost to war. This man represents the most logical parts of ourselves, lacking any sort of sympathy and thinking that the more people with guns he kills, the more peaceful the world would be. The man tells the boy the world has come to be this way because of humanity's inability to think logically. Instincts, emotions, memories, and information are all within the human mind. And to the man in the suit, Writing things down can separate yourself from these innate desires. So in order to save the world from destruction, eliminate ones who want to cause it. If one holds a gun, he intends to kill, so killing him would be proof that no one else has to die. The man is a very different encounter than the previous one. He is intelligent, calm, collective, and cold-hearted. The man in the suit doesn't offer any revenge for his enemies. When the boy is given a test to kill a captive, he is given a lecture that although this person isn't a threat, if he survives, revenge would be the route he would pursue. The boy accounts for this person's humanity. He is just like him, and so without being a threat, the boy does not kill him. When the girl finds the dead bodies that are used as their food source, she finds a man locked up on the brink of death. This part of the story ends with the man saying that humans aren't just only good and bad, but instead possess both qualities. The man in the suit finds out about the girl releasing this man and tells the both of them to leave, saying, "It's today then," as he grips a photograph of a family that had 2 kids. As the boy and girl walk away, trucks with machine guns heads towards the city, and the man in the suit holds a detonator, and the city falls. We've gone from one place to the next, and each time the horizon emphasizes its theme of despair. This next part of the story, it's hard. It's very hard to read. We are taken to the girl's past and how she ended up on the bus all alone. She wasn't the only one on the bus. There used to be an old man, someone with curly hair, a quiet woman, a strong family, a strict man, and a caring dad with his daughter. There were many people on this bus, and it helped these people survive a world full of war. They worked to get supplies, sometimes even avoiding gunfire, but eventually making it out alive. First, it was the old man, crying and walking away. Next, it was the man with curly hair. This person wondered why things happened in his life, and if they were all meaningless as he stepped off the bus. The horizon doesn't want to make you feel good. It's supposed to make you realize something through pain. It's supposed to emphasize the reality of war and human cruelty. The woman had experienced pain so much that it made her happiness go away forever. Soldiers or anyone that suffers from PTSD have changed forever. They can no longer go back to being normal. It's like the ocean. We are all part of this big mass just to be swept away by the waves. The woman slit her throat. We also see the husband trying to protect his wife and their child because nothing matters when your loved one is dying. Both of them left the bus. We don't know where we go when we die. No one truly knows. There could be heaven, there could be hell, but we have faith that there is something out there. The dad had to leave. The daughter cried and cried as he walked away, and so did the dad, weeping for his own inevitable death. He could not watch his daughter grow up, see her go to school, graduate, get a job, and have a family. All of that was immediately gone. And the manga shows how hurtful this is. There are barely any words spoken, and the art is beautifully drawn in this moment. The earth is definitely round, so if you keep walking, you'll eventually see me again, the dad says. He walks endlessly, questioning his own reality, what he is and what will happen to him. Many repetitive panels of bones and brains representing the decomposition of our characters. They will eventually meet this fate. You and me will eventually meet this fate as well. It's this realization of death that makes us so afraid. But in that final moment, in our last breath, as everything starts to blur, we must believe. The girl was now alone on the bus. Now back to the present, the boy and the girl are in their happiest moment as they keep moving forward. They have seen so much, but still cling on to the road. It offers them comfort. And as the road ends, a reflection appears. It's poetic that the boy and girl ran into their exact opposites, trying to do the same thing. Both raised their guns out of fear for each other, but both their companions lower the guns, as the boy represented logic and the girl represented emotion, realizing that there is no threat. And then a missile flew over a beautiful spread of images from past chapters. And then there were 2 less. And then there was 3. The boy finally reaches the ocean. We've experienced a multitude of stories, none of which end happily. The boy keeps looking at the ocean and remarking everything that's happened to him, and he breaks down. Every single thing that's happened is shown. And to me, I just can't express how emotionally impactful this is. This is how cruel the world, our world, can be. And we can be consumed by darkness just like this boy. Ecclesiastes 1:8 says, "Futilities of futile," says the teacher. Everything is futile. This quote was said in the very rare dialogue present in this story. Ecclesiastes was a book in the Christian Old Testament which talked about how no one knows what is good for humanity. It talks about death and how we all have to face it, but we should enjoy life while we can. But no one could enjoy life in this story because other men were filled with greed. The boy is now an old man. The war seems to be over and he lives in a house that he and the girl of long ago dreamed of. It's finally peaceful for him, but as he reflects on his past, the darkness he's been through, the wars he had to fight, he's now all alone. This old man is forever filled with deep despair, but he finds a couple filled with life as the author lights up the pages once again for these people. This is a beaten, torn old man that is filled with regret, but the couple brings back hope into this story. The old man still feels a great weight of depression and agony, remarking that we are just proteins and fat. We can just be turned off like a computer. Nothing matters, and everything is meaningless to him now. But the 2 lovers contradict this statement. With the woman being pregnant, they say that the child will grow up and experience everything, but not just the bad things, but the good things as well. As the young man puts his hand over her pregnant stomach, he felt immense compassion and love. There's this poem called "Do Not Go Gentle Into That Good Night." It talks about rage into that good night, fight, rage against that dying light. As a fierce wave grabs the young man and pulls him into the deep abyss, the old man stands there. "This is the fate of man," he says. "All you can do is cry." But no, how can you accept that? How can he accept that? He will never accept that. Blind eyes ablaze like meteors, bless me now with your fierce tears, I pray. He grips his fist. No, never right now. He rushes into the water. Right now, he says, swimming deeper and deeper into that good night. The bodies surround him. The darkness envelops him. Deeper, deeper he goes into that good night, fighting, clawing, ripping apart the strings of fate, and he grabs a hold of the young boy. There's a hand holding out for the old man. In desperation, he grabs a hold. The darkness takes over as he doesn't know where to go. But then, and only then, there was a light. The snake was stomped and driven out. The thorns are heavy, but the light of hope is reunited. We must believe. As the old man reaches towards that light, he ever so closely keeps reaching, trying to grab a hold of the most important thing in the entire existence that has ever been so apparent. And that is love. And that is the horizon. A beautiful panel spread shows the sun gleaming on the old man's face as he weeps once again. The sun has finally risen for him. As the story ends, the old man plays with the daughter of the young couple. He remarks that life is beautiful, but everything must go. But there is something in the afterlife. There is hope. for all. The old man was taught many things. He experienced sorrow and happiness and learned that the warmth could ease the darkness away. And as the young boy floats upon the endless ocean, a light appears, holding its hand, reaching out for the boy. He grasps onto it. I hope our story is eternal. Thank you for listening to The Horizon.